What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And if you watched my last video, it was a review of the ports that were brought to PS5, the good and the bad, and what I wanted to see change. But I will be honest, looking at the data that has come out about these ports, Activision and Call of Duty has struck gold here. Just looking at the player counts for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 in a single week, Black Ops 2 hit a whopping 5.25 million active players, and Black Ops 1 about 2 million players. That is insane for a game that's 14 and 16 years old, and it just goes to show how great these games actually were. And if you think about it, this is only on PlayStation. This doesn't include PC, Xbox, or any other platform. And I think this is a big wake-up call to Activision, Call of Duty, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, that there needs to be some change in the franchise. And that modern COD, yes, although it does have its place, that these old CODs stand the test of time. There's nothing like these old CODs, the way they were designed, the sound design, the simplicity of everything in terms of create a class, the bare bones nature of it, the limited number of attachments, the maps all flowed and played well, and more importantly, I think the movement. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that movement does have a place in Call of Duty. I do think that they're kind of at a crossroads now. Black Ops 7 introduced the Black Ops Classic game mode, and that brought me back to that game. I think that brought a lot of players back to that game. And I think with the data from that and the data for bringing these games back, I think they might have learned something. And hopefully they did. Hopefully they take the feedback, and classic mode is something that they include in all of the Call of Duties moving forward, because I think Activision and Call of Duty could take a page out of Fortnite's book. Fortnite has been one of the biggest games since it released, and it's still one of the top games out there. And the best thing that Fortnite did was that they brought the zero build mode. That's what I play. I'm a little bit of an unk. I cannot keep up with all these kids cranking 90s or whatever the fuck they call it when they're just building and building and building, and I can't do it. I don't even know. Even if I watch gameplay of people who are good at building, I just don't get it. So zero build mode is why I love Fortnite. It had brought me back. And I think Call of Duty could do the same thing and leave the movement in the Omni movement for those Warzone players that are cracked, and those multiplayer players that love to break cameras, slide around, that are those movement demons. But for someone like me in the casual, can I even call myself a casual, but classic Call of Duty fan that was more into how the maps played, into positioning, into gunplay, and not having to worry about just making the other person dizzy in order to kind of get a kill. I would prefer that mode, and I think with the success of Black Ops Classic, with the success of these ports, I think that this is something that they're going to have to implement moving forward. I think the player base has spoken, and it's up to them to listen and not miss out on this opportunity. I understand why they are kind of catering to these new audiences, and frankly, I think the people who like the movement is the younger generation, the ones that grew up on video games being a little bit quicker than what I grew up on. I grew up on like Mario 64 and games on the NES. These kids are being, in their youth, they're 9 years old, and they have a gaming PC. It's just a whole different landscape. They're way better in their youth than we ever were at gaming. So it's just a whole nother. They're playing a whole different game. They're playing their gaming experience is so different than ours. So I would love to see Call of Duty and Activision honor the fans that built this series, that built the popularity of Call of Duty, and that is the classic fans that were with it from the start of the franchise, from COD 4. I know it started before that, but mainly Modern Warfare moving forward, and people like me who do buy the game every year and try their best to keep up with all these movement demons, but it's tough. Now, I touched on it a little bit in my review video about modern COD and the issues besides movement. A lot of the community seems to have a big issue, myself included, with having every gun have 70 levels and the way you have to do a bunch of challenges on other guns to be able to unlock attachments for this gun, and it's just gotten way too complicated with 5 to 8 attachments per weapon, understanding what's the best. You have 50 reticles where really there's only like 4 that ever get used. It's just there's too much clutter in Call of Duty nowadays. Now, I do believe that the grind does have its place. I do really enjoy doing the camo grind every year, even though I never complete it. I do enjoy working on it. It gives me something to do to work for, calling card challenges and that stuff. I do enjoy that grind. I don't enjoy the weapon leveling process. I don't enjoy grinding attachments. I don't enjoy having weapons locked behind challenges and battle pass. I believe that they really need to start making everything free in that landscape in terms of the new weapons they come out with every season. Because what happens is if you're a player like me and you kind of step away from modern COD here and there for a month at a time because it's just getting too much and it's annoying and you need to take a step back, you come back a season later, you're trying to play Warzone. Well, everyone has this brand new meta weapon that you didn't play that season to acquire. Now you got to do a whole bunch of challenges to get it. Or the fact that you can buy blueprints in the store. The one thing I don't like about Call of Duty nowadays, too, is I understand they have to make money on the skins and whatnot. But once again, I'm going to go back to saying they need to take a page out of Fortnite's book. Fortnite with the zero build, and in this case, the classic, and Fortnite with the way that they're making a ton of money, but they're only selling cosmetics. And I think Call of Duty needs to stop selling blueprints, first of all. I don't mind them selling skins, although I never really understood why you would want a character skin in a first-person shooter because you can't even see it anyways. But, I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade if they do like that. I just don't get it. The one thing I love is weapon camos. And sometimes I want to buy, a blueprint in the shop because the gun looks cool, but maybe I don't like the build of the gun. And then as soon as you start changing attachments and what have you, you lose the look of the gun. I think they need to go back to just doing camos. Now, Black Ops 3 did this with the crate system, and not saying that I love the crate system because that's way more gambling, and I don't think we're ever really going to go back to that. But sell camos. Like, if you put camos in the store, I'd buy them. 100% I'd buy them. Camos, emblems, calling cards. If they're cool enough, I'll buy them. And I think that that's where they can still make their money and not give an advantage in terms of like automatic unlock for a weapon or put it behind a blueprint or, level 30 in the battle pass. Like, have some middle ground there. When a new season drops, everybody unlocks the weapon, and just buying the blueprint shouldn't give you an automatic unlock of the weapon. I don't like that. I think that that's a broken system. And I think that unfortunately that's the way gaming has gone. I'm all for microtransactions if they're done right, if they don't hurt the integrity of the game, and if they don't make a big difference in terms of pay to win. A lot of sports games, like an Ultimate Team, they do a lot of pay to win. Fortnite is the ultimate microtransaction game that is not pay to win. And I think I would love it if Activision would take a page out of their book and make it more cosmetic and less, this blueprint build is super good and you could get it day one with all these crazy attachments. Like, I want them to get rid of that. I want it to just be a gun cosmetic, skin for your character, an emote, or even though I don't really love emotes in Call of Duty, it doesn't feel like it fits, but it's in there anyways, and they're going to do it. So in my opinion, that's something that could really help, in my opinion, modern COD come back down to earth a little bit. Reduce the attachments. You can still have the camo grind, the calling card grind, and there's still a grind there to be had, but let's not grind weapon levels. Let's not grind attachments. Even Black Ops 7 with the weapon prestige and whatnot, like, that's kind of cool, like playing with the gun over time and leveling it up and, getting extra camos for that. But I don't know. I think it's gotten a little too out of control. I think that's the last I'm going to say about this. I could go on all day about how they can fix Call of Duty. I'm sure I'll talk about it again in the future, especially the more I enjoy these old Call of Duties that bring me back to the golden age of COD. But let me know your thoughts down below, how you think they could improve modern COD? Like, what could they do to maybe make this experience a little bit better than like it used to be? But if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to know how everybody feels about these ports, the direction Call of Duty is moving in, and if you think there is a chance that they end up going more of the Fortnite route because of the success that they've had versus the way that they're going about things nowadays with the blueprints and whatnot and the craziness. And, you know, we all miss classic COD, and I think the player count on these ports just on PlayStation is telling.